నమస్కారం. నా ఈ ప్రయత్నం మీకు నచ్చినట్లయితే గనక మన ఛానల్‌ని సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేసుకొని, పై జాబితాలోని మరిన్ని వీడియోలను చూడటం ద్వారా మీ నైపుణ్యాలను, జ్ఞానాన్ని కూడా అభివృద్ధి చేసుకోవడానికి ప్రయత్నించండి. జై హింద్. Please like, share and subscribe for more videos. Thank you.
As beginners, we are typically taught to castle quickly, as this is the safest place for our king during the opening and middle game battle. This is often true, but just because your king is castled, it doesn't mean your king is always safe from dangerous kingside attacks. Let's take a look at ways to attack the castled king. In this position, white has a pawn on e5 that chased away the key defender of the kingside, the knight on f6, which is now on d7. Since there isn't a knight on f6, the only piece protecting the h7 square is the king. You might be tempted to play knight g5, joining the bishop in attacking the h7 square. This move would create a weakness after g6, but there is a much stronger attacking idea for white. In this position, white can play the Greek gift sacrifice. The Greek gift begins with the bishop sacrifice, bishop takes h7 check. White offers the bishop in order to lure the king to the h7 square. If black refuses the Greek gift with king h8, not only has white already won a pawn, white has a crushing kingside attack after knight g5, threatening to fork the king and queen by capturing the pawn on f7. After queen e7, queen h5, white is ready to deliver a discovered check with bishop g6 and win the game. Black accepts white's Greek gift with king takes h7. White has sacrificed a piece, so white's attack must be direct and forceful. After knight g5 check, white continues to attack black's king. Now that the knight has left the f3 square, white's queen is ready to join the attack on h5. If black tries to prevent the queen from invading on h5 by boldly advancing the king up the board with king g6, white's queen attacks the king with queen d3 check. If the king moves, queen h7 leads to checkmate. Black is forced to play f5, trying to keep the position closed. White rips the position open again by playing en passant, e takes f6 check. After king f6, queen f3 check. Black's king has two options. If black plays king g6, after queen f7 check, and king h6, successful kingside attacks don't always have to end with a flashy checkmate. Notice that black's king is now on the same diagonal as white's dark-squared bishop. After knight takes e6 check, white's knight attacks black's queen and discovers the dark-squared bishop's check on black's king. White will capture black's queen on the next move. If black tries to avoid losing the queen and plays king e7, white has a forced checkmate in two moves. Can you see it? After queen f7 check, king d6, white delivers checkmate with knight b5. After bishop takes h7 check, king takes h7, and knight g5 check. Instead of moving the king to g6, what if black's king hides behind the pawns with king g8? White's queen and knight now overwhelm black's defenses after queen h5. You know it's a bad sign for the defender when the best move is to sacrifice the queen with queen takes g5. Having a pawn on e5 is very important in the Greek gift sacrifice, as black would love to play knight f6 to help protect the king. Since checkmate is being threatened on h7, black may try to give the king room to escape after bishop b4. Instead of forcing the king to f8 with queen h7, the simplest way to win the game is to destroy the black king's pawn protection by first playing queen takes f7 check. After the forcing line king h8, queen h5 check, king g8, now that the f7 pawn has been captured, white forces the king to the e7 square after queen h7 check, king f8, queen h8 check, king e7, and since black's king is no longer shielded by the f7 pawn, white delivers checkmate after queen takes g7. Checkmate. Let's take a look at this position again, but with a slight difference. This position is very similar, with white having a pawn on e5 that prevents a knight from moving to f6, an important detail in the Greek gift. Notice this time black's dark-squared bishop is on e7 instead of f8. Does this slight difference matter? Can't white just play bishop takes h7 and play the crushing Greek gift sacrifice? If white sacrifices the bishop, it is a serious mistake after bishop takes h7 check, king takes h7, because after knight g5 check. In the last example, black's queen was the only piece that could capture the knight, meaning black would lose too much material. In this position, black simply defends with bishop takes g5. And after queen h5 check, bishop h6, black is up 2 pieces, and white does not have enough pieces to continue the attack. The Greek gift is a very dangerous attacking idea that can win games very quickly, but the attacker also has to stay alert to defensive chances. Let's take a look at one more way to attack the castled king. In this position, black's king is castled, but it is far from being safe. Notice both of white's bishops are pointing directly at black's kingside. Once again, black's king is the only protector of h7, often assigned to attack that square. Watch how white plays an incredible double bishop sacrifice to open up lines to checkmate the black king. White's attack begins with the powerful bishop takes h7 check. Black's king is forced to accept the sacrifice, as after king h8, black loses quickly after queen h5. When after the light-squared bishop moves, black will be checkmated. After king takes h7, queen h5 check, king g8. White's first bishop sacrifice opened up the h-file. Now white rips open the g-file with the second bishop sacrifice, bishop takes g7. White now threatens checkmate on h8. If black doesn't accept the bishop sacrifice and tries to open up an escape for the king with f5, black has weakened the g6 square, so white plays queen g6. White threatens checkmate on the next turn with bishop e5, so after rook f7, white wins black's queen with playing bishop e5 anyway, discovering the queen's check and threatening the queen. After black accepts the second bishop sacrifice with king takes g7, white has opened up the g and h files for white's major pieces to deliver checkmate. After queen g4 check, since king f6 allows queen g5 checkmate, white forces black's king to the h-file after king h7. Black's king is completely cut off from the rest of its army. After destroying black's kingside protection with 2 powerful bishop sacrifices, white finishes the attack with the powerful rook lift, rook to c3. Black is completely helpless against rook h3. Checkmate is unavoidable. After seeing these powerful attacks, are you ready to attack the castled king? Let's see.